You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again, because you don't see this, but we try this several times now, it seems like, because the tooling isn't great, to another Gone.net.
YouTube changes everything up all the time. It had to give me a tutorial on something I don't care about. Just go, man.
And I think the title is wrong again, but that's okay. We will.
I change that after
in post.
I do editing after the fact. Because,
yes.
The software we use also, when you hit end stream and then it does its play out, it doesn't always end the stream. So then John and I come on and, I drop an F-bomb or something, and then it's like, oh, you're still live.
I'm curious where the blame is in the software chain of things. Like, there's, my thought doing this all again was maybe we should just code a new software system for this.
Oh, you want to vibe one up?
I mean, at this rate, why not?
By the way, we have added connection things, little connection icons.
Yeah. So
that we can see, because John's been on my case.
They both show that they're perfect, yet your stream looks fuzzy.
I keep seeing yours go brink.
Yours did that too, so I don't know if these are a reliable indicator. So maybe if we do vibe code our own, we can have actually reliable indicators.
Possibly.
We can have stream
It is the connection to the service. And then I think as long as we're connected to the service fine, right. I don't think we need to see each other. So
yeah. Then the quality is fine for whoever's watching. It's the stuff coming back that we see each other live that kind of sucks. Like there again, yours blipped out and it showed like an X for a second.
And then the same for yours. So it's great. So we're both screwed. Or it's the software. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because when it goes to YouTube, we're fine. So John wants to apparently vibe code one of these. I think he's crazy.
It can't be that bad. There's a bunch of like WebRTC stuff in there, and it's just got to get the video out, like get it to YouTube, put some intermediate server in the mix that we both upload to. What could go wrong? Maybe
we can blame Microsoft, because maybe this is on an Azure server and all the AI is killing the Azure server, because that's what happens these days. Mm-hmm. GitHub goes down pretty much every other day. Claude has been great, knock on wood, lately. Since good old Allan gave up his SpaceX servers, we've been good. Before that, it was going down pretty much daily. So, positive times.
And like, there's always the jokes that go around of like, oh no, it's down, I can't work anymore. But it's kind of not that untrue either. Like,
people are only disruptive.
Yeah.
People are only doing AI prompting, but I get it. But I don't know. I'm still doing a lot of API surfacing. So
yeah. And you gotta, I guess you, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that all comes out how you want it to. So there's, even if it's you directing the changes, you're still in the loop.
I'm still looking at code.
Yeah.
I just don't have to type it as much. I just have to be like, that sucks. That sucks. Better. Still sucks, but better.
Don't like this. That sucks.
And it goes well when it's being nice and fast. But yeah, it's driving productivity. That's for sure. And I still say keep burning as much tokens as you can. We're still on subsidized time, at least on Claude.
Yeah.
Fable is there now, which they want us all to use. But if you use Fable, I'm actually still using Opus 4.8.
So I use a mix, and mostly because when I use Claude for like my personal stuff, then obviously I'm using their stuff and I use Opus. Did you say 4.6 you're using?
No, 4.8.
Oh, okay. I thought, yeah. And for work stuff, I usually go to GPT, because that technically is a lot cheaper to run internally. We see like the multipliers, right? And like GPT 5.5 and 5.6 is out now. I haven't really started using that yet. But you can run those a lot more cost effectively. So I'm like, well, I'll try and reduce my spend. We can internally now see like a dollar amount associated with our usage. So that's kind of interesting. But it does definitely give weight to what you're saying. Like we are on loss leader, point of this whole thing rolling out where they want to get you hooked.
Yeah. And so they've released Fable or re-released Fable, and John had the chance to use it. I got it the first time around, and it was literally going through. Now it does a lot more. It will go out and go, hey, I'm going to unit test this. Hey, I'm going to run Playwright or Maui DevFlow. Like it doesn't ask, it just does.
I guess, but Opus will do that too.
If you tell it to.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But Opus does, do things like, hey, there's unit tests here, so I may as well write unit tests for this as well, and then run them.
Yep.
Right. But Fable doesn't ask. It just it needs to do these things. I'm going to do these things. But I find it doesn't produce better results than Fable or than Opus. It produces pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
However, people say, oh yeah, it's faster. No, it is not faster. And it uses a ton of tokens. It just burns through.
Alive. Yeah. So much.
I can crush my time slice with Opus in about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
If I'm really going nuts.
Yep.
Fable, I don't even really need to go nuts. And within roughly an hour, maybe a pinch more, it's done. That's done. It. And it's like you didn't get anything extra out of it. Like it didn't get me through the work, whereas Opus does. So it's like, are they just like cranking up the knob, giving us the same thing, cranking up the knob and just say, let's melt it faster in preparing for payment?
Yeah. I wonder if it's like, cause like I used yesterday a bunch. Yes, I used Opus 4.8, but I used it on like not ultra code effort, but max effort, I think, for a while.
Okay.
And that burned through stuff a lot faster than just the high is what I usually have it on. But again, it's like, I don't know if I think that it did any better than it would have without it. Like but that's how I feel about Fable too, right? I know some people are like, well, make sure you use Fable as like the lead of like a team and like have it figure out how to, delegate work to the different Opus agents instead, and like that's fine. I don't like I hesitate to really get into that mode of usage. One, because like I think it'll burn through tokens a lot faster yet too, but two, this is where all of these harnesses, like all of these tools are heading anyway, that are going to keep because they do this already to an extent, right? Sometimes it'll be like, oh, I'm going to start a few subtasks and, one of them's doing research and one of them's doing whatever. But I think this is where the tooling is heading anyway, is that you shouldn't have to think about how to distribute the work and delegate it. It should just kind of know the smartest way to do it. And I think the other part that we will see too is more and more use of like intelligent routing to more cost-effective models. Not necessarily that Claude wants us to do that. And I know they kind of do that today in the background, but I think there'll be more of an emphasis on that, especially for like as cost becomes more and more sensitive, right?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the Claude model and the Codex models and stuff, they're huge.
Yeah.
They're monolithically sized. Why can't you just have this model is good at French, this model's good at English, this model's good at coding, this coding C#, this model's good at coding Python, this model's good at debugging, right? Like start instead of having like this one massive, and I'm pretty sure that's how they're designed, because like when you download Quen, it is a bunch of files, but it's one big monolithic piece of data.
And they're like the masters of everything, right? Is kind of one of the so, and I was curious, and I don't know how true or not this is, but I was trying to figure out like, what would a model like Opus 4.8 look like in terms of like size? And if you want to believe any of AI's reasoning about it, it's like that. Oh yeah, like with a 1 million token context window, like Opus 4.8, a similar model is likely going to need 1.2 to 2 terabytes of memory to have everything loaded and deal with that context size. Like that's insane. And that makes sense why it's pretty good at what it does. But yeah, like you could start thinking about if even like I use whatever model I'm using, and I'm always doing heavy-handed stuff with it where I could probably drop down to something easier, right? If I'm like, oh, build the thing again and run it for me, it's like, well, probably a local model could figure that out pretty easily.
Probably, and possibly even faster too. I mean, I have tried to use Quen a little bit more, because I've got my Macs, my M5 Max, so I try to. But sometimes I'm lazy. I'm in Claude, and I'm like, just rename that directory for me, and it's like, okay. It'll chew through up a couple thousand tokens, but that's all right.
Fine, but
whatever.
That's the kind of thing I think like we'll see more approaches to routing things logically through it. Like that decision sounds like I can handle it with this, so let's do this instead.
I'll give you the dumb one here. There we go. That'll work for you.
Yeah.
So we can talk about my stuff after. I do know something that I probably should have used Fable for this week, but we'll get into that after.
Okay.
Or at least I could have tried. I didn't. And Opus took about 3 hours on this.
Wow.
It was a pretty difficult task. So what are you showing off this week, John?
I got a couple things. One, I'm not gonna. Well, I can show it off. It's fine. So I was telling you about this, right? I'm going for
show on your street. Show on your
stream.
Oh
yeah, I gotta show my stream. I gotta find the window again. Where'd it go? I don't know where that simulator went. Oh, it's like half here. That's why. Let's see if I can get it. I was showing the coffee dominate. So I have what Allan is, his favorite coffee maker probably ever, because it's a fellow Aiden, and if you're a coffee snob, I'm not going to say connoisseur because that's not even true. It's just I'm a really annoying coffee nerd, and so I got this coffee maker finally, and it's like
annoying is an understatement.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You can configure every little detail. Like you can, not only can you configure like there's a thing that you call bloom time for coffee, which is like the initial getting the grounds wet. So this one has merit to it because the bloom time, what happens is there's gas from roasting those beans that are trapped in there. And when you put hot water on them, the CO2 will off gas from them a bit. And you can actually measure this. Like if you do like an 80 grams of beans that you grind up and then you start putting hot water on them for the first time, if you have it on a scale, after you pour like another like 70, 80 grams of hot water, you can watch the weight go down by almost a full gram if you just let it sit after that for like 30 seconds. So science, first of all, y'all. And so you can configure all of that in this coffee maker, but it's even like beyond that. It's like you can do individual like different pulses of water so that like you cause the grounds to redistribute. And each one of those pulses can have its own length of time and volume that it pulses out and temperature to the like 0.5 degree Celsius.
I'm sorry, but the chemistry lesson was putting me to sleep. Sorry.
No, but it's like it is the worst. Like
John's gonna send me a meme after, like, you jerk.
No. So like the funny thing is about this, like I feel like yes, I know what I am. It's kind of the same. Like my wife and I have a one of our like guilty pleasures is to go to like really fancy like Michelin star restaurants and spend like a stupid amount of money on a meal of these like little, bites and like lobster bisque foam.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like it's just, and like, I get it. To a lot of people, that's just like the stupidest thing ever. Totally get it. And we just kind of always joke that we're so insufferable about like our food tendencies, but that's fine.
Yes.
Oh, this is very good.
You still haven't been to Hawaii for where the real coffee is.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I've ordered coffee that comes from there.
Sigh.
So anyway, there's this whole kind of thing standing up around this, and to get these different profiles so you can customize them and to build the recipes. There's a couple attempts out there at people using AI for it, but I'm like, these are like amateur attempts kind of. I can do better. I know how to to drive my AI to a result that I want. And so I've started putting my Claude at the task and basically coming up with like, the company has released their own like profiles for different kinds of coffees. So there's like 100 and some of those. And so I started like doing this whole back and forth of like, okay, like here's the different things you got to consider. Here's what the profiles look like. Here's all the knobs and dials you can turn. You need to go like create your own algorithm that takes into account all of the different aspects of each coffee and knows how to influence all the knobs and dials. And at the end of it, I want you to make sure that for the ones that the company themselves released, our algorithm gets like almost perfect to what it should be. And that way we know relatively well that like our changes based on like what the coffee is about are going to be kind of in line with what the company would suggest. Right. So yeah, I had this thing chugging and like I've built it. It's all, I haven't actually looked at the site that much, but I've got it building the Maui app now, right? I don't think I can do the camera and simulator, right?
Which is a shame because I know. You know what app I ended up getting was an app called Reflector. Mm-hmm. It's an older app that you can AirPlay to. So you AirPlay your iPhone to it, and then you can, because I was having this problem too. Remember when we were trying to demo AI conversation? Yeah. I wanted sound and or camera to go there. Reflector does it. So for next time, John,
you can do it with QuickTime too. I don't even have it running on a phone right now. This was like this was just coming up finally as the stream started anyway. But I don't know. That was kind of fun to throw it out there. So like I've built this whole thing, with Claude. It's taken a lot of time. The back end is probably more interesting than the client app. Like it's all DocumentDB, of course, with Shiny.
Oh, there we go.
But it has like the whole way that I store profiles and like have branches of them. And it's almost like Git, because like you can edit these profiles yourself. But then like, let's say you wanted to go back in history, like 3 steps and then actually tweak that one instead. It'll create like a new branch from it. Oh, it's going to be.
Did you use temporal?
No.
DocumentDB has temporal support in it.
Oh, I should probably have it review that and see if that's a better fit for some of the stuff.
It is.
And then like over time, the idea is that if this becomes something that people use and you can go and like rate, like I can say, oh, I want to log, a brew, which didn't work. But if I do coffee, it'll bring up the simulator window and try and
see, it's not going to pull it right now, but
no, I know. No, but it was supposed to. Oh, there's a button. Yeah. Anyway, over time, you'd be able to collect like highly rated profiles and kind of use them as sources of truth. So I have like built into this a whole retraining feedback loop that improves itself, which kind of leads me into my next thing that I was going to talk about.
Anger.
Yeah, I don't know. I can always tell it to come up with stupid names.
Grime. That's an I. Of course, AI or AIM and
Grime. It's like ingraining knowledge, but it's Enneagram as well. It's like a play on a bunch of words plus AI. I know it's dumb.
Yeah. John doesn't name apps well.
Hey, listen, this is Claude helping me do it, right? So you can spread some of the blame out there.
Listen, after Runner, I'll never let you live it down.
That one's the best. I still like that one.
It's so terrible.
Good. It's a runner of runners. Come on. What is not to like?
What would you have named Sherpa had you have not been given that name?
I didn't even know. I probably would have picked poorly there. Sherpa is a fantastic name for that. I'm happy with that.
It would have been called Maui Tool.
Yeah, it would have been like mobile dev tool or something like stupid. Yeah, for sure. No, so the idea behind, so I've had a couple of attempts at this kind of, so everyone knows what OpenClaw is, right? You know what OpenClaw is, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I don't use it.
No.
It would eat my hardware and all of my tokens for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I played around with it early on. I got it to I think I told the story, right? I got it to download like my utility bills for hydro for the year as I was doing income tax prep. So it did it. It got there, but it cost like $10 in tokens to do the thing that would have taken me like 10 minutes max. So the idea that, and this is probably a token burner too, to be fair, but one of the things that I've tried to do a couple iterations on was, as like my manager role, there's a bunch of just stuff I have to do. And there's a bunch of like things I got to remember to do, scheduled task kind of stuff, looking at dashboards, pulling down data, doing a bunch of different stuff. And that kind of changes over time. And so I've tried to a few times to kind of create like a workspace that has a lot of the memories and stuff of my what I do, what I've done in the past, but also can kind of go and grow itself and improve itself so that it can do more things as I need it to do them. So a couple examples, like one is we have like a whole bunch of like, you know, a security dashboard system and stuff that's really hard to understand, and then you got to go check it out and like drill down into stuff and then figure out how it links to different issues and areas and systems. And so I was like, okay, like go build me this dashboard that kind of brings this all together for myself, and then help me work through some of the items in it and stuff like that. So I wanted this space that has like those capabilities. And so I used AI obviously to make this, but the idea is kind of a mix of OpenClaw, a mix of Hermes agent is another one that's kind of like OpenClaw with a little bit more emphasis on like learning over time. And so the idea here is that there's a few different kind of levels of memory storage. And then this thing has kind of got built-in prompts and stuff to be able to know when it should write its own skills to reuse. And AI itself isn't too bad at doing that anyway. At this point, like you can open a directory and just have a running session and be like, hey, like go build yourself a skill to do this and then use it when you need it. And it's not terrible at that. But I wanted something to kind of boost it a little bit more than that. So I built this thing and I've been using it for a few different places as kind of their own like working project folder kind of thing. And I wanted it to be Git friendly so that like I could actually store information in a repo and keep it saved and kind of have a history of it. So part of this is like, there's a SQLite kind of vector, you know, side of things to keep information, but it will still keep knowledge in markdown files, and the SQLite is kind of more of an optimization and index on that information. And then it'll go back and kind of learn over time. It'll search, you know, histories and stuff like that, and then it has some functionality in it or some prompting to help kind of improve itself over time. So I don't know, it's maybe it's a me only thing. That's fine. I like it.
Claude is doing some of this, right? Like they tend to remember things. Like it's often like, oh, you already have something that does this in Chinese, so I'm going to go pull that. And since you're the author, if there's a problem, I can blame you.
Yeah.
So it is smart. It does keep memories of things, but I'm not sure when it decides that it's important versus not. So,
and that's always the challenge. And so when I built this, like and this is again, like we've talked about so many times, building something anymore is mostly about how to understand like the different pieces that are out there that you want to fit together and how to fit them together, which is what I am trying to do here. And so I'm like, I've played with OpenClaw a bit. So like, here's the docs and stuff and particular parts of it that I like. I want you to incorporate those ideas. And then I've also looked at Hermes agent and I like how they do this part better. I want you to incorporate that kind of idea. And then a few of my own things, like I want it to be Git compatible, all that kind of stuff, right? And so at the end of it, it's like putting those pieces together and having it come up with something and kind of walk it through something useful. Like at first it was, they have all these commands that you can do, like to kind of do calibration or to actually look and self-improve, like look back at the session and try and improve itself. But I'm like, well, I'm not going to remember these. I don't want to manually do these. And so then you start to be like, go use some of the hooks that you have available in a plugin and go start to nudge the user to actually do these things or do them for them. So there's all that kind of stuff too. It's kind of fun. It's been working well so far.
You can tell John vibed this because the server is written in Node, which is usually JS. And I don't know, John, I don't know that you've ever touched JS in the last
I mean TypeScript, I guess, but
Yeah, okay, well,
I did
close
the
enough.
whole first version of the Maui DevKit VS Code plugin. That was all TypeScript.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of .NET in there, but most of it was TypeScript. The hard parts were.
True.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
So anyway, that's that one. And then the other thing that is kind of related to this, or it's maybe taking some of the ideas and bringing them forward into another idea, which is if you build skills and distribute them, and you build Shiny. So actually, you need to go use this because it's going to help you.
Oh, okay.
The idea here is that once that skill is out there, it's kind of hard to get a feedback loop in terms of understanding like where it's helping users and where it's falling down and falling short, and where users are running into problems with whatever the thing is that your skill is trying to help them do, right? So for me, the big where I started this kind of thought process or journey was Maui DevFlow, which is we have this skill, and like I'd get people telling me, like David would tell me, oh, this thing, it ran into this problem. Okay, go file an issue, right?
Yep.
And then it's like I've never tested that, so I don't know what the problem is. And then I kind of got thinking, and actually there was some internal folks here doing some stuff that was similar, where they're like, oh, I have this skill that can go query the Copilot CLI session messages and like kind of try and extract information from them. I'm like, oh, that's super interesting. Like, what if you have something that can go look back on a session and like be super intentful on looking for the areas of friction, looking to see like, did I find a workaround for them eventually? Did I not find a workaround for them? Or like this was just kind of annoying and it could be easier, quicker. And then I kind of took that, put it into Maui DevFlow itself and kind of specific to that. So it has a few pieces of the idea. But then I found myself doing this again with what was the last one I was working? Oh, it was an internal thing. But I want to get it out to more people internally. And then I'm like, well, how do I collect feedback on this? Oh yeah, let me repeat this pattern. And I'm like, wait a minute. Can we do this in a way that is like ubiquitous to skill developers and users, kind of like Anthropic's skill creator, which I'm assuming you've used, right?
Wait.
Yeah. So the idea here is simple. There's kind of two paths. Like one, you could use this as a consumer and just install the thing and like have it either help with existing skills you have and make like that developers don't even know that this thing exists, so that you could still send them feedback. Or the thing that was really the motivation here was like for skill and plugin authors, that you can basically onboard your skill, your plugin, to use this thing, bundle it with your own plugin, and then it also helps you keep it up to date in your own plugin. So there's kind of two modes to it. There's like the maintainer mode, and then there's like the embedded redistributable part of it. And so once you onboard your skill to use this, it'll embed itself, and then it uses like plugin hooks, and it'll append like on your skill just a little blurb to help nudge the user to know that, or to know that to tell the user's AI, this is a thing you should probably try and do. And if you use the hooks, like if it all works out perfectly, every once in a while, like at an end of a session or the beginning of a new one, it'll be like, hey, like the author is like hoping that you would be willing to help with feedback. Do you want to review the last session and see if there's anything that you could send back to the skill author that would help improve the skill? And so it'll do that. It'll create markdown files locally. It never uploads anything. There's no like tool or anything to send this to telemetry. I thought about like, oh, I could use Sentry for this or something, but that feels kind of not
sneaky.
Yeah,
not really, but
I didn't love the idea, especially when it's like, this is all AI. Like I have some safeguards and stuff built into the prompt in a way that it's like, don't ever send personal information. Make sure that you scrub like any kind of names or product names. Make sure if you're describing a repro that it's a recreation that is unrelated to the actual content, so that you're not divulging information, like that kind of stuff. But you never know for sure. And so it'll create like a summary for you. You can optionally like review it and send whatever you want to or not, or it'll, once it does, if it detects that the skill that it's giving information for comes from a plugin in a repo, a GitHub repo, it'll offer to be like, hey, like, here's the summary. Would you like me to file an issue on that repo for you with it? So trying to close that feedback loop here and make something that's helpful to people building these things, including myself, again, pretty much selfishly motivated, at least to start. But it'd be kind of cool if it got to the point where it was just a thing that we all could get feedback from. And the other part of it is that it's built knowing, like, Anthropic's skill creator, they do like evals stuff right now in the latest version as of like a couple months ago. So it can help, like, author, for the problem it encountered, like, here's the evals that you might want to add to your suite so that you can keep track of this thing going forward.
I might use this thing. Actually, I will use it because you'll keep telling me until I do use it. Now, John's big on not just doing things, right? But he wants me to just do this one. So I can. Actually, I guess technically, since it's going to ask, it's fine. But you can thank John, because I was going to install all of the skills and the plugins for each library automatically. And he said, no, don't do that. Give users a choice. And I was like, why? Anyhow, because of John, you have to manually go install skills still. But it was going to be in the NuGets. So blame John.
It's not too bad anymore, though. Like, it's still not great. But there's the UI for, like, the GitHub app and the Claude app have gotten a little bit better for doing that kind of stuff anymore, at least.
And they are smart at auto updating them now. Because I noticed for the longest time, skills wouldn't just auto update.
Yeah.
I think now, since they switched to plugins, which is like groups of skills, they've gotten quite a bit smarter at it. So now I usually don't, like, DocumentDB, which we'll talk about in a second. I think we're 3 months in now, John? Been at this 3 months, and we're about to do version 11.
Yeah.
So that just shows you how rapidly things are going. Obviously the skills have continued to, like, I must do like 40 commits on skills a week. It's crazy. So the problem is going, oh, I got to update it. Oh, I got to update it. Oh, I got to update it. So I keep forgetting. And now it's just like, oh yeah, our skill's a bit out of date. That one's newer, and it pulls it down. So the only thing is right now I have a process that goes through and updates the plugin version numbers occasionally. Cause it's still sometimes, again, if they give you the stupid Claude versus the smart one, stupid Claude might go, oh, it's the same version, so I'm not going to pull it. And smart Claude's going to go, yeah, it says it's this version, but I see commits that are newer, so I'm just going to pull it down.
Yeah,
anyways.
People aren't always good at updating stuff like that in their plugin, because there's like a spec for that with the versions and everything. But I had to quickly see if this site still worked that I made forever ago. It's still up there.
But this is like sitting here.
It still kills me, because it's like the whole way that those things are built is just such like, we had an opportunity as a world to do better than Git repos with commits as the versioning, and I know, like, that's not a wrong way to do it necessarily, but even so the other part of this was, like, I think Claude now does dependencies technically in plugins. Like, plugins can depend on another plugin.
Okay, didn't know that. I usually keep everything that's related in a plugin. So
right, but so, like, for me to try and build this thing that I want other plugins to use, like, that idea is very helpful, because I could have it say, oh, you depend on this plugin, and when you go to look at your version, go look at your dependencies as well, or at least, like, you would know to bump your dependency version and republish. I don't know. It just, we're missing something like this for the ecosystem still, I feel like, even though there technically is, like, a way to do it all.
But there has been an article about sending your skills and having them put into the directory that they need to be in through NuGet using a targets file. This is what you are against, but it is the answer. Technically, it is the answer. It's just not fully secure, and it means that stuff is being dumped into your repo that you may not want to know about, or that you may not want to be there.
That's my problem. Is like, not that you shouldn't automatically bring stuff into the context potentially, but I don't want the actual markdown files. Like, it should be a configuration. It should be a package reference type thing, right? Where you, like, here's the plugin that I'm using, here's the version that I've pinned or that I've got installed. go install it in some other folder and reference
Like a global
it.
context.
Right. But
with
like
the version.
just like a NuGet package, like when I don't want to commit all that crap to my repo. And like, I guess there's arguments for it which is kind of like, yeah, but that's like, then you got to have a process to pull stuff down again when you restore. But like that's
You are
fine.
good friends
We're developers.
with the NuGet PM. So like
not anymore.
Oh, is he not?
He moved to a different position a while ago.
Oh, I thought he was still in the NuGet PM. Okay,
No.
so all right. I was going to say pull some weight there, John.
But that's
Get it done.
But it's NuGet like that. This isn't a NuGet problem specifically.
Well, it's in every problem. I mean, when we're talking about .NET, 9 out of 10 times we're going to be building something with .NET. So the skills there, we have a distribution mechanism. This is going to sound very familiar, this conversation. We have the distribution mechanism. Why don't we just use it? Workloads. Right? So
you're not wrong, but the perfectionist in me is like, but that's the wrong level to solve the problem at.
John has OCD about technology stuff sometimes, but that's all right. I mean, it's
weirdly, particularly about like the layers of where you implement things at, like and the reusability and composability. Like for me, it bugs me when it's done wrong.
Oh, I definitely know.
Well, you know, but everybody else may not know yet.
It's true, but I can tell you, John is very OCD about his tech, and he is on you instantly. You should add this feature. What about this?
Yeah.
Oh, what about this? It's usually pretty good, unless you don't know about it, and then you're just like, "That's awesome," right?
Yeah.
So like DocumentDB, he's like, "Yeah, it's a beast. It does everything I want," and then he never uses half the features. So I already said, "Did you use temporal?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that existed."
I did. I remember you saying something about it, but I didn't remember it in the moment and think about it as a solution to that particular use case, which it probably is.
All right. It definitely is. It definitely is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
What do you got?
I am going to show off tools. So not AI. Well, no, I'll show off AI stuff because you gave me crap about this. And what turns out it was you, not me. Let's see here. We're going to share this screen, and then John's going to complain about size.
The browser.
Yeah. So the site, and that is
So to be fair, if you look at that on a phone, it is a little confusing.
Okay, who cares about a phone?
I mean, I might be dumb, but it is also confusing. If I'm
fair enough,
confused, somebody else will be.
So, this is the shiny.net, shinylib.net website. So this thing gets like 20 commits a day. It's crazy. So obviously with AI being the big thing right now, I decided to put all the tools that these libraries plug into through AI. So like we'll get to that in a second. And then the actual libraries, which I guess is what John is saying should be primary.
So shrink your window down to be like the size of a mobile device.
Okay, we'll let him have his OCD moment here. Yeah. Okay, so let's go.
And then scroll to the top. A little bit more. There you go.
Okay.
Scroll to the top. So if you don't read that like purple build, well, you can even read it, build AI into your apps. That's fine. And I get now looking at it that it's a section, but scroll down until you see like controls. By this point, I've forgotten that you mentioned it was AI specific. Oh no,
Sorry,
keep going because I think.
Yeah, but but now we're into libraries. It says libraries.
Oh no, sorry,
and the complete suite.
No. It's when I got to DocumentDB in the first section.
Oh well, there's a lot of stuff to go through. Oh, you mean here, up here, so
like
right here,
way up high. Yeah, right there. That I didn't still connect that was part of the AI tools group of things. So I clicked on it.
Do you want like one of those little remember me scroll things? Because Shiny controls have it.
No,
where it can have like a what do we call that, sticky header?
I don't know what I want yet. I didn't understand the problem exactly yet, so I haven't formulated my solution.
Right. So John was complaining about this the other night. Anyhow, what we're talking about here is these AI tools. So basically, what I've been trying to do is any library I have where you can either read or write an input, add a Microsoft Extensions AI tool to it, right? Because tools, fantastic way of interacting with allowing AI to get access to underlying data. So shell navigation, we've showed this one off before on the show where it was like, hey, my toilet's leaking, send help immediately. And it would go, okay, you want to navigate to this page. I'm going to automatically set these variables for input. And then you can hit the send that. Right. So we had that. AI conversations is a way of just kind of, speaking to the AI through voice and then having respond in voice. Mediator, we won't go too much into that. Mediator and services, I guess, are more the same way, is that you can expose your own custom mediated endpoints or services through dependency injection to provide a tool to AI to call, right? So whatever you want it to do doesn't matter. DocumentDB was another one we've also demoed on the show, and this was like a way to say, you can read this table. Mm-hmm. Here's a description of the entity that's there. Have at it. We even delete. Yeah, which John was like, you got to put a safety on that. I'm like, no, man. If delete isn't on by default, neither is create. You have to basically say you're allowed to do A, B, C to this data. So, sky's the limit. If you want to open it up, be careful. That's with anything, because like if you've used OData, right? OData was the same thing. You spent all this time. You're like, wow, I got this great API. Yeah, now users can call all the data, right? If you didn't set up filters, etc. It's like you almost spent all that time. You got this nice API, and now all the time that you spent on the business is now spent on, securing your API. So, teach his own, right? Same with health, giving you read only, what's my heart rate, log in activity, like I worked out. This is great for giving AI access to, I play pickleball. So like I try to line up the games with like how high was my heart rate, how high was, I think blood oxygen was another stupid one I decided to check, and how well was my game, right? Yeah. And who was I playing, so that I could be like, okay, this guy is kicking my butt, right? So it's kind of cool because you can line up those metrics and AI just goes, you're playing this dude at this time, your heart rate was here, your these vitals were here. And it puts it all together. You didn't need a database for it. It just kind of goes, let me put this data and that data together, and here you go. This guy was kicking your ass. And then you bring in Ngram, and then you can have it start remembering, like, hey, like I play pickleballs. I'm usually going to want to know pickleball. I'm usually going to want to know this. And then next time you're done a match, you'll be like, hey, I just finished a match. How'd it go? And it would be able to just like, do that all for you. There you go. So then I started to get into some crazy stuff like contacts, just like, do I have John in my list? No, I don't. Okay, that's good. Or you do have John in your list. Okay, delete it. Right. Stuff like that. Yeah. Reminders is like local notifications. So create a notification for when I get home, right? So that'll create a geofence location or local notification. So when I get home, cook dinner. I don't know. It's pretty cool because it just goes in. This is like half the capability of like Siri coming into play, right? Like truly, like if you stitch all these things together, it can be pretty good. Right. Another one is location. Yeah. So if you've got like, how long is it going to take me to get to work? Right. It can go, well, where the heck are you right now? Oh, you're here. Oh, this is going to be a long trip. Right. So it can do stuff like that. And then the last one, this is because I'm using it internally to another app, which I'm not going to talk about, but, find me some energetic music that I can use for this. And it'll go, okay, let's see your music library. Okay, here's all these ones. And I have a lot of old music on my phone. So it'd be like, give me modern music. And then it's like, okay, well, everything in the 1900s, let's eliminate that. Wait, not that modern though, please. But that's the kind of cool stuff it can do, is it's basically querying your tools with like no effort, right? So, and I mean, just to quickly show off, and then I'll talk about DocumentDB. This is, let's see, they put me to getting started instead of the AI tool. So this is the reminders. This is it. Read, write, and then a channel that you want it to exist on, which is specific to So is that does notifications? iOS has a native API for you to use like that? Well, this is so I have Shiny notifications, right? So that's
Oh,
like
okay.
the local notifications
Yep.
built in. So you add that. And then what you do is you give Microsoft Extensions AI a path to it. So here's where we create the actual tool. And we say, okay, well, you can read it, but maybe you can't write it. Or you can write it, but you can't read it. Right? Channel is just that's more of a native thing. Like, where do you want,
Right.
what kind of category do you want me to use for this? So it's kind of irrelevant there. But
So this ultimately will get you like a scheduled push notification. Is that
Yep.
how to think of it? Okay.
Yep. And it could even be a geofenced one because you can
Right.
say, remind me when I get home. You'd probably want to give it some context of what home means, right? But that's to your prompt.
Yeah. Or
And
if
all
you
of a
have
sudden it
Android
can,
remember that for you.
right. And it just does all of the stuff. I mean, it's fantastic, right? So with almost zero effort, and this is AOT, by the way, you get reminders, something simple. Where else did it put us here? This is not where I want it to be, but there we go. Location, same thing. This runs really only a read. It just goes out and gets the local notification if you ask for it. Whoop-de-doo. Again, the reason that I add these is because this may only be one line of code, maybe two if you're adding the tool. Fair enough. But there's actually a lot of code to get it to be AOT compliant, right? And then explain what the schema is, explain how the call is working to AI. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So that's why I was like, I'll just do it. We'll just add the tool.
Yeah.
We'll come back to DocumentDB. Context store, same thing. Going to the AI tools, of course. Same thing. Do I want it to read, write? And it'll search. Do I have John in my list of contacts? Okay, call him. Do I have John? Delete John if you find him in my list because
you don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's got all these capabilities to work with. And what else we got? So that's contact tools. This is through a contact store. It's kind of minor. I know Maui has something for this, right? You guys have like a read-only version of it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think so.
So this has got like link capabilities to search through the contact store and create them if necessary. It's actually a pretty trivial library. It's got the photos, etc. There's a skill, etc. And then the AI tools are there. So it's just been there. I brought it out. AI tools for health. Same thing. This one's a lot more involved, obviously, because there's a lot more stuff you can get out of health. Maybe I don't want to give AI access to my nutrition. Maybe I don't want cycle tracking. So if you're female and you're tracking like PMS and stuff, which is quite popular apparently, and it seems to be a lot of my questions are around that. So I'm like, it's there. I can't tell you how accurate it is, but it's there. And it can you basically turn on what it's allowed to see and what it's allowed to do. And then AI will go, like I said, I don't have anything for blood pressure. Like I don't have a blood pressure. Apple Watch has blood pressure, I believe, but you have to enter it.
Yeah.
But it does read your oxygen levels and your heart rate. So, and then even steps. All right. Give me the amount of steps. So if you're running a lot, it's awesome because you see that movement. You're like, oh my God, this guy had me running all over the court and he beat the crap out of me. Right. So you can say, okay, well, I got to change my strategy. And that's based off of health metrics. I mean, that's freaking wild, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have to take this data and store it anywhere. It's already there. And that's what's awesome. Like, it's just tell me how I did in this game and it pulls it all together. And within seconds, you've got this data going, yeah, you got your butt kicked. This is why you were running all over the court. Your blood oxygen level was starting to get low because you were like, right? It's cool. It's just, and we're talking about a pickleball scoring app for crying out loud. So wild stuff there. And then music, like I said, this is the same thing. Do you want to be able to control the playlists, the playback, the library access, like searching? It does provide lyrics. So if you're like, give me the lyrics for, a Metallica song, it'll go and be like, here's the lyrics.
Do they give you the opposite where you can be like, hey, what's the song where, the chorus is this?
No. And the reason that, so I tried to add that to, so that would be more in Shiny Music directly.
Yeah.
So I tried to get, they do have the Shazam kit from Apple.
But that's, you have to like play this on, right?
So Shazam will allow you to send like, hey, what's this chorus?
Okay.
And it'll search through. The problem is that Shazam kit kind of sucks to integrate with. It's a royal pain. I had so many problems with it that I ended up ripping it out. And there is no equivalent on Google.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I can't find anything for it. So, there we are. And last but not least, DocumentDB. So this one, I have just been, like I said, we're about to do a version 11.
Yeah.
This sucker has, it has an OData, a fast OData client. And what I mean by that is there's like, other than what the actual ASP.NET OData does for reflection, you don't have to do any reflection once it gets down to the DocumentDB level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. In terms of providers, in the last month, I've added Azure Tables, DuckDB,
like
Amazon DynamoDB. I've never even used DuckDB.
There was another engine that I saw. I forget what it was called. That I'm like, I don't know if you have it yet, but I bet you can do it pretty easily.
If you name it, I'll tell you if it's either planned.
Yeah,
because there are a few more that are planned, but I found that everything is a derivative of Postgres these days.
It was it's called, I don't know if it's like a true database, but Rocks DB.
Yes. So I have looked at it.
Okay.
It's more, I believe that one's more of an event store than it is an actual database.
Yeah.
So it's like key value.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like, we can add it, but do you want to?
Is it helpful? Yeah.
Well, it's like IndexedDB is like a web browser thing, and it does have a query engine, which is why it's there. But for the most part, it's pretty much a key value store otherwise. But yeah, this guy and this library people are using like 21,000. This is 3 months old.
I keep like advertising anytime I see anyone, especially in your favorite website of all time called Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit.
Anytime I see anyone like talking to anything remotely about this, I'm like, just go get ShinyDB, dude. Like, go get it, or DocumentDB, Shiny DocumentDB. Because like but truly like, and the thing that I was building, I forget what it said at one point. So I took a bit of a different approach where I said like, I want to spend a bunch of effort on building out a hierarchical plan and architecture and like multiple docs and everything this time around. And then one of the things that it called out, because I'm like, phase 1 is no technical implementation. Like, don't even talk about it. Phase 2 will be like, I'll tell you what I want you to use. And then you can go look at the plan and figure out how you're going to do it. And in phase 2, I'm like, go use DocumentDB. And like one of the areas it called out, it was like, we might, DocumentDB is like kind of new, and we don't know if it's proven. Like, well, we might de-risk and fall back to like, whatever. And I'm just like, no. I know the author. If we have a problem,
he will
we will get him to fix it.
Right.
So keep using DocumentDB, and then it did.
So, and there's some stuff I'll talk about what's coming this month, because it seems to be a major version every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But here's the AI tools we showed off in a previous episode. So you basically say, create your DocumentDB store as you always would, right? So here's a SQLite provider as an example. And then you add the DocumentDB AI tools. And then you say, okay, you have access to, you have to give it the JSON context. Mm-hmm. And then you can basically all is read, write, delete, all that great stuff. And then you basically configure what the type looks like, right? So this type is customer records with contact info.
Yeah, so that AI knows like what it would be looking at in this thing.
Right. And so it goes through, and it's like, you can even say, don't look at this property. You're not allowed to read that one. Because in this, we might say this customer is annoying. So we don't, there's all those things.
Or just like it might get confused with some property that you're like, you don't have to think about this. Don't even
leave. Just leave that alone. You don't have access, right?
And maybe reduce like some of the context size even too for stuff you don't need.
Yep.
Can you go the opposite? Can you say like ignore by default and then add them in?
No, you know what? I was thinking about that, but it'd be, I mean, you can give it a batch of stuff here, but it's kind of an opt out instead of an opt in. And really, I kind of wanted people to think about what they were doing here. I guess technically, if I was going to play it safe here, it should be an opt in versus an opt out. But you know, again, with anything
the only
here,
thing I could see is like as you keep adding things, it might be so you might not remember to be like, oh yeah, I should ignore this one as well, or the opposite. I'd rather be like I have to remember to add them than forget that I didn't ignore it and then it has some property. But like either way, it's not
definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
But like this, I mean, we did this on a sample, and then we deleted all the customers just because that was fun to do. But you can set stuff like, hey, if you're about to scan a huge database, you know, limit the size so that AI is not chewing on the data forever. Just lots and lots of cool things that are going on here. And this, like I said, if you don't want to create, we were talking about Mediator and kind of the AI service capabilities that's in one of the other libraries. This is a fast way to do it. Just give it access to your data. Just be controlled about it, right? Like this is what you're allowed to see and why.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. Kind of something else quickly. If you're an Orleans user, one of the biggest things with Orleans is if you want to store your state there, it sucks to query because you basically, if you have like you're not supposed to do this, but let's say I have historical grains, so a parent-child relationship. Mm-hmm. If you want to go query the children, especially if you have a lot of them, it's going to turn on all the grains.
So you need
in
the
Orleans
grain
like
created or instantiated live to be able to look it up.
So it was very, and they say it's not the equivalent to an N+1 because grain read is extremely fast, but you are still basically querying each and every grain, and grains may be on different clusters, etc. So one of the goals here was you can store grains. They have this concept of like a state grain storage. And I was like, I mean, this is great for DocumentDB, right? Just take the grain state, store it, and then we can query it there without actually pulling or switching on all the grains. So it's still not great for clusters, because you might have different databases, but in terms of just like a local
anti-pattern though, to an extent, like, is this kind of cheating?
It only is because you technically want different databases for different storage, but that's in like, if you've got like a monolithic, really busy silo, then yeah, you might have different data stores per silo, in which case you're querying more on the silo than you are on the actual grain state. But it's, things to consider, right? You use it where it's appropriate, and leave it where it's not. So this is great for smaller-ish apps. And really, if you're using kind of the database stores anyways, which does come from Orleans, you probably want this capabiliity. It's just because it's there. Yeah. But definitely when you start to scale out,
to like debug stuff or like, do some things, it seems useful, even if you don't want to use it like fully live.
You can, you can still go through the database. Like I said, it just, this is pretty easy. And there is an Aspire option as well. So like you can use Aspire to set up not only DocumentDB, but Orleans as well with DocumentDB. So lots of options there. It's even got a seeding thing because that's one of the painful points right now. So lots of stuff going on there. But the thing that's coming this month is, and this is where I think I could have used Fable. So
okay.
I had some spatial stuff before. I have another spatial library that I use only for SQLite, because I do a lot of like distance calculations and map stuff. Mm-hmm. And it does all of them, but it's very limited in kind of the data you can store. So I was like, I wonder if we can bring that over here. And the answer was, yes, I can bring it all over here. But it turns out spatial queries are quite hard, especially when you start going multi-database. So this one took several hours. Like Claude was going nuts for about 3.5 hours yesterday coding this out and like making it all so. Yeah.
Like, well, no, I'm just like it on the surface. It seems like it wouldn't be that crazy. Like every database seems to support it. Like, I'm just curious what the hard part there that's not obvious was.
Different data storage. So like SQL Server has like a geometry type that you need to store in, and then you need to query that specially.
Yeah.
So like when you go, where this geometry data is within scope of this thing that you pass, like a I'm trying to think the parameterized version of it.
So you have to like translate it. And
yeah. The right version has to be in certain formats for certain databases. So like that was fun on how that works. So,
well, I guess once you get beyond too, like I'm kind of thinking of it just as like simple geo points, but I see here, like you've got also like, there's all sorts of spatial stuff, like polygons and all that. Like, so I'm assuming you can do crazy stuff like, hey, does this set of coordinates at all intersect with, this polygon and
disjointed contains, right? If the point's contained by, touches. Does it completely cover? Is it covered by this thing?
Yeah.
Does it equal this spatial point? Does it touch? Like, do they touch at any point? Do they cross each other? A lot of these I haven't used. Some of them are like the geo within distance. This one is probably going to be your most used one, right?
Yeah.
Or even a contains or intersects is quite common. But like, so there are these quick points, right? This is for if you're just going to do a query without really any filtering, but there is the way to do these through link. So if you need a composable query, you can do where link statements. So where the document function intersects and Z is active, you can do that. And then do your typical skip and take 20. But then one of the other things that's in DocumentDB, and the reason I can do this, so string queries, this is kind of like a version of, how am I thinking about this? A version of OData, kind of a manner of speaking. And the reason I can do this is because in the JSON context, I don't have to use reflection to get anything anymore. So I can say, go find this intersects method. We know that there's an area property. I'm using formatted strings to actually translate certain things in here. So then you can say where the search area, which is parameterized, and where active is true. And it'll actually go and do this by a string.
So you're
translate this into.
This is all still AOT'd?
Yes.
So you're doing some kind of string grammar parsing.
Yes. But it knows which function to actually tack this against because it's all mapped out.
Yeah.
And then the area, like I said, area and search area, they're all mapped into the JSON context.
Yep.
Right. So we're able to do some of this stuff, which also makes this very easy to use from AI as well.
No, for sure. I'm more curious. Like what are you using to parse out the grammar itself?
It's basically just a straight. It basically kind of goes through step by step. It's not like I'm trying to look for the term.
It's like tokenizing it kind of.
Yeah, it's not doing a hardcore version of
like lexing.
Yes. It's not doing any lexical parsing. It's doing all it's just doing tokenizations on brackets and stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still pretty cool.
And it's working pretty cool. I mean, other than when you got to starts doing stuff like this.
Sure.
Like the types of polygon and the coordinates. I mean, okay, I might not go to this level, but because it's elsewhere in the app, like when you want to do like pagination and sorting and stuff,
yeah, you can still
which is where this comes.
Code it by like strongly typed API, right?
Right.
It's not. Yeah, this is just like a convenience. Like, hey, you can kind of use a string, and then AI can go wild and not have to write code to do what it wants to do.
Yep. And so that is coming in version 11, which is, at the rate that I'm going, will probably be tomorrow.
What? Yeah, What's left? What isn't in there?
I don't know. I keep coming up with stuff like there's computed properties, right? Which this is great for if like I want to have a total in the order, but I don't want this to persist.
Right.
Right. And then you can get that on an index and it just like it's calculated stupid fast. There's temporal support, which is more like auditing. That's just like, how long do I want to keep this for? What's the maximum versions? What's the captured actor? Full text searching. I actually use this quite a bit, so I needed this. But then you can say like, what's it searching on? What's the language? Right? Like, I mean, actually, it turns out that the computed properties in full text were like the things I thought would be hard to do, and it turns out they were actually quite easy. Spatial is where it got stupid hard, and vector was also easy. This is another thing I'm using, because if you want an AI to store vectors, so you have like local storage of something from a tool, it's right here. You're just like, here's your vector storage, and Mia, or Microsoft Extensions AI, will just dump stuff into it. So, I mean, you can do this on like I am doing this on a local SQLite database with Onyx right now for a library that I'm going to release soon. Not yet, soon.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And I'm assuming, so like for some of these features though, like I imagine some of the things, like I think the spatial stuff, like some databases just don't reasonably support stuff, right?
Right. So stuff like, what's your favorite one? LightDB, it's not really there.
Yeah.
DynamoDB, I was surprised it's not really there. But I think it's kind of like a weak version. But then like Azure Table is useless. Like it's a key value store.
Yeah.
IndexedDB is like somewhere between, it's like a key value store with kind of a queryable thing, right? The only reason it exists is because I can see it having value to Blazor, right? Where SQLite's a little bit harder to get through. So you can have IndexedDB.
Yeah.
And then LightDB is only because you wanted it, because you were like, hey, I want to move off of this one and go to SQLite. So it's there because of you.
I was on SQLite before you even did this, but I still think
you nagged at me for this. So
I still think it's fine to have.
Yeah, it is. It's very weak in terms of what you can do with it.
No, and so like I fully would expect that if the database engine has no hope of supporting it, you're not trying to like invent some way to calculate it, because that would just not be great.
And like the matrix here is like, we're not doing spatial on these guys.
Yeah.
And the funny part is like, I've always tried to just keep, I called it the big four. So I wanted Postgres, MySQL, because it's a big one. SSMS, because, everybody uses SQL Server at some point, and SQLite because of Maui, right? Those were the four big ones that I wanted.
Right.
A contributor came out and gave an Oracle driver, which I was like, oh, wow, cool. He did an Oracle.
I cut my teeth professionally on being an Oracle admin, and I hated every second of it.
You know what, though? Back in the day, man, it never died.
No, it did. I mean, it didn't if you knew that you had to do extra maintenance and stuff on it. And then
right.
Don't realize
but like
that you did.
The queries that you would run on SQL Server that could take it out would never take out Oracle. Oracle would just keep chewing on it.
No, fair. There was a use case, but that use case was not for a local school board's systems that did not require it, that I eventually got them to move to SQL Server.
And setting it up required a PhD in Oracle, right? So
it was so bad.
Even
expensive.
So the funny part is that the unit tests that run for DocumentDB, I have test containers. So my Docker container storage has gone fantastically up, right? So it's got like 2 different Oracle providers because they don't ship spatial out of the box. Neither does Postgres equal. I don't know why they don't ship PostGIS right in the box and you turn it on, but whatever.
Yeah. That one was a pain on Mac for me not that long ago, because there was no good ARM64 container for Mac or whatever at the time. But anyway. So
anyhow, I use test containers. It goes and downloads all these and tests the entire suite. So, and then Cosmos DB is another one that exists because of John. It just has a query that he has that's so wild. I can't go there. We can't do it. At least until I have joins, which I don't think I'm ever going to do.
That was SQLite, actually. So I think it'd be fine. I'm going to look at swapping out my thing for your DocumentDB this winter.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I can't touch the app during cool season.
Yeah, that's true. And then MongoDB is there because it's actually pretty easy to get MongoDB, especially if you got Cosmos, even though Cosmos is pretty easy. I almost went the direction of going through its SQL mechanism because you get a lot of the benefits from these guys. because it's actually two different sets of drivers. It's like
Yeah.
relational, and then
But also
non-SQL, and then the losers that can't. Right, that's a bad way of saying it. The guys that can't do everything, they've got very specific surfaces.
Yeah, I think Cosmos though also like you make that distinction when you make your database too.
Yes.
So you would have missed out on supporting like one way of doing stuff, right? So
fair enough. So now at this point, there, like I said, John came out with RocksDB. There's a couple others that I've looked at.
I was just
CockroachDB, which is actually just a derivative of Postgres. So it works. There's a couple things that Cockroach doesn't do because it's meant for
you don't have
high
any,
speed.
like MySQL or MariaDB.
Same thing. I do have MySQL.
Oh,
it's one of the big.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it there. I don't know why.
So MariaDB is just
this,
basically the fork of MySQL.
Yeah.
So the driver works one-to-one. I am going to create a CockroachDB version, but it's basically Postgres was saying, yeah, we don't do any of the stuff. We don't do GeoPoints. We don't do this because it's meant for high speed, right? It's not meant for all the other stuff.
It's funny to me too that Postgres became is now like the standard that MySQL used to be. Like it used to be everything like open source, whatever was all MySQL, and then obviously
Larry got his clutches on it and destroyed it. But thankfully, technically Postgres, Amazon's got its clutches in it, right? Like,
yeah, I'm seeing a bit.
They still keep it.
What's the other one? It's not Cockroach. There's another
on Postgres,
derivative, isn't there?
There's a few. I thought Amazon's other database. I thought it was DynamoDB.
No. There's that, but there's like forks of Postgres now that I've seen pop up.
Yeah, there's tons. I can't even keep track anymore. They've just got too
Ghost,
many.
I think is the one I'm thinking.
Oh, is that what it is?
But I think it's all like this. It's all like driver compatible, whatever.
Well, that's the thing. Most of the ones that I brought up, like it says, yeah, we probably should do I posted it to Claude because I have never used CockroachDB, and it says CockroachDB is just it's Postgres in every way except it doesn't do A, B, and C because it's meant for distribution or clustering. I don't remember. It's meant for different use cases, and so they stripped a lot of the stuff out in order for that to work. So whatever. So I'll probably make a CockroachDB provider that's literally inherits this and returns false for a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And just because it's easy to grab, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Why not? The more names on there, the more people will be like, "Oh, I feel comfortable using this," because it's the thing that's never died, which is like years ago. I remember, it was like, well, you don't want to lock yourself into one type of database for the app you're building.
Oh, and hence we came forth with the repository pattern.
Yeah, even though statistically, once you build the thing, you're never switching the database.
No, you can't. It's the only reason you'd want to do it. And even if you've got any framework, you don't need to, right? Because you've got in memory, you can use SQLite, and the only time that you're going to kind of swap is when you want a unit test. And even then you might have some sort of like hard built SQL off of Entity Framework that's just not going to work in memory. It's just going to fail. So that's kind of why I like this. This DocumentDB because it can do some of the things that SQL can't do, or Entity Framework can't do. Because you can write manual SQL into DocumentDB. I wouldn't.
No,
the JSON constructs are very hard.
I was going to say ultimately, like you made the foundational choice to say, documents are the storage, so like it's not the same exactly as EF, right? Like it's
yes. But you can do the raw SQL for whatever reason you needed to. Yeah. But I'll tell you, those JSON functions, they're pretty hard to consume when you're braining through them.
Yeah.
So.
But in terms of why would you, obviously if you've got like an already built system in place and stuff, that's all column based tables and everything, like that's still going to be a thing you deal with. But if you're doing something new, especially I don't see a particular reason why you wouldn't just go with a document database like this and use this because.
Well, I did do a comparison. So if you are looking at
There you go.
Why DocumentDB and why not DocumentDB, right?
Yeah.
So
segue into it.
In terms of performance, this thing kills, but it does lose in places, right? So like in flat reads, Dapper's still king. I can come close, but even SQLite and other things are beating it here, right? Because that's not where DocumentDB's strength is. But when you go over to nested object graphs, like that's where we start to see it just destroy everybody else because it doesn't have to do relational joins. So like it's all these things that you have to pick the tool that wins best.
For sure.
And so it even has a, choose DocumentDB when, choose SQLite PCL when, EF Core when, and Dapper when. And that's a funny thing is I'm still using, I might not use SQLite PCL anymore because it's getting a little bit dated. There's a lot of things you can't do with it, or there's a lot of extra work. I might actually choose this for Maui more often than not. If you're using EF Core in Maui, I don't want to be a jerk, but you're doing it wrong. Please don't use EF Core in Maui.
No, it's
please.
We've not, like, nobody has worked on making that an optimal thing in Maui. And
and I don't know that EF Core is ever going to get to AOT.
No, and that's exactly it. Like at the end of the day, because of that reason, it's not going to happen.
And Dapper, I mean, if you're using EF Core and even DocumentDB, please, for the love of God, do not wrap it in a repository pattern. Please. Dapper, I get why you might want to do it still. It makes sense because you've got custom SQL, you want a unit test. But Dapper is still, like, I'm still using EF Core. I'm still using Dapper, and I'm using DocumentDB in a lot of places now. So, stuff to consider. But I put it all in here. It's not, DocumentDB isn't the perfect tool for everything. It's like it's a tool that you can pull out of the toolbox for a lot of good scenarios. So,
and I gave you the next couple features that I relayed on, right?
Which ones are you?
Oh, I don't care about them. I just throw them your way when I come across people being like, "Oh, yes. I wish I had this."
Yeah. So, I don't remember. You threw me an article from
there's
from the
two.
human waste field.
Yeah, one was and I before I mentioned it, I did do a quick search because I'm like, I don't know why this is a thing, but somebody was like, and they weren't asking about it for Maui or anything, but in .NET in general, they're like, oh, I wish that we had like stuff with better cursor support. And so then I'm like, well, I don't cursor. I'm like, well, what's the difference between get, take, and skip? And apparently there is a difference in terms of how some of the databases implement it, like from a performance perspective, because you don't have to like scan, X number of rows to do it. I don't know.
It only really, I mean, if you think about the logistics of how that works,
indexing, that's why I was like,
it's not entirely true either.
Yeah, why would that actually be faster? But
because if you're applying orders, right, ordering and filters, then it still has to, unless it's got the inverse order, it's already done. I mean, essentially every time you do an order, it's got to scan everything to order it up anyways, right? So there is some truth to it, but it's minimal. There
might have been, I feel like I remember it kind of coming across like there are some optimizations the engine might do under the hood yet that do make it reasonably quicker than that. But
let's scan it. I know we're out of time here, but I'm going to run it.
So that was one. And then the other was since you've got full text search and you kind of have it, but like the Lucene syntax.
So that one I'd probably fluff on. And the reason is because it's more or less, I mean, I could kind of put a Lucene function in that just translates the syntax. Yeah. But
because it technically is like its own grammar that a lot of systems use. So like it wouldn't be crazy to have.
Yeah, I can look at it.
You want the thing to do it all. I'm just feeding you the leftovers.
Let's look at two things here. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to vibe this up right now. Is there an advantage to having cursor-based pagination in this library? So I'm going to let this spin.
Yeah.
And then this one was, can we add a Lucene search function similar to some of our geo functions to query by.
And it could be the same as like the syntax you showed me where you can give it a string of like functions. You could maybe do the same for Lucene, right?
It knows enough. Like I've told it. Oh, what was it? Invalid tool parameters. That's awesome. Set Cosmos and Mongo directly. No need. It might not like this, but we'll take a look and see what it comes back with, right? This is the cool thing. Is that big enough, by the way, John? It looks like it. Okay. All right. Better?
So, yeah, that's better.
Let's do this. Here. All right. So let's see what our Lucene function. I'll hold the exploration results. So your ask is similar, is meaningful, different, and what exists. Let me do. Okay, so this guy's gone off. Let's see what he's looking at. I love how you can see the different threads if you're using one of the rich text, the rich terminals. So I'm using Warp. So Warp sees all the different AIs that have spawned.
Yeah.
So you can see what it's actually going and doing. And you can go back to the main where it's just like, I'm going to have all these other guys go search for me. I'm going to sit here and be lazy. The only problem is right now it thinks it's done. And it's not done. It's waiting. Same with this one. Okay. So let's see what it says now, John. Oh, so yes. Is there an advantage? Yes, but it's provider shaped.
Right.
Here's a key set binds you. Concurrent rights, backend intended API. The cost limits are real and worth it. Being honest about requires total stable order. No free order count. So okay, it's still going through. It
seems like it's saying like because Cosmos has this concept that you kind of have to use. So like in a database like that, you kind of might have bad results if you don't use it.
Oh, look see, it's already offering me. Do you want to draft up that plan? Yes, I do.
Sure, why not?
And again, it knows I'm actually big on running these plans because I don't know that I want to spin right away. Yeah. So I'm like, draft it out, what you're telling me.
Yeah.
And then I can go, and then what I actually do is I go open it because I hate looking at the markdown in the editor. So I go and look at the markdown after to see what it came up with.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it proposes some stupid ideas. So you have to be on it. Let's see what it's proposing for this. I've gathered all the necessary info, data provider. So it's about to return. Replicate spatial pattern in these files. And look at that. Let's see what it says, John. Whoa. Where'd we go here? Actually, I need to understand spatial. It's actually showing me what it came up with. I can't get it to, there we go. Did you see how it showed me what it actually prompted with when I went up?
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm working on this is what it actually went and asked the other agent. I didn't even know you could do that. See, you got to switch to Warp, John. Use Warp.
Yeah, you can see some of that stuff in the Cloud app too.
Oh, okay. Are you using the desktop app?
Yeah, because it's there. It's easy. I like being able to see like the diffs and stuff right in there.
Fair enough.
Once I started using the GitHub app, that's kind of what I switched to.
All right. What should the Lucene search function actually support? This drives most of the work. So xbody, quick brown, match body. So do we want it to match right through to the full text search?
I think you want that second one, don't you? Because the point would be to have the grammar be perfect in terms of spec, like what somebody's expecting it to do.
Yeah, but is it going to be slow? Because this is close.
Yeah, but close is not compatible.
All right, normal. But the only thing that I worry about is if you want it to be high speed, right? You almost have to say this.
I guess. Yeah, but no, this is what it's saying, right? Parsed to a Lucene abstract syntax tree to the per provider.
Oh, full text search translation. Yeah. Okay. Predicate or rank value. Yeah. Both. Give me both. All right. Oh, look at that, John. You might get it. Oh, this is pretty.
Well, that was a really hard work that you had to do to get it too.
I know. See, once you start thinking about these things, I was going to pass this, but you know what? Fine. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to have to call this like Lucene
Yeah. That's what I
functions
would
when
do.
it's done, like document functions, Lucene match.
Scene search or something.
For these functions, I'm going to put that in there now. Prefix them with Lucene function. Yeah, there. It'll know what to do with that. I've done this many times. Draft to paginate after. All right. There you go, John. You got your 2 features. They're coming in version 11.
The people who wanted those things that didn't know they wanted them in DocumentDB can thank me later.
John tends to go on what I call the human waste fields of Reddit. And I don't know why he does, because there's so much abuse on there. People are so nasty. I even put up like a nice ad for like Shiny. Here, it's all for free. And people go in there and whine about stuff. And you're like, man, are we not allowed nice things anymore? Like, no, I'm just saying, like, I want some feedback. And people are like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. Why isn't it? Or
they'll just be like, no, because Maui sucks and I don't use it anymore. It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, well, get a life, man. Move on. Be happy. Because some of us are having really great success with it. And like, get a life, dude. Be happier.
It doesn't, you get to the point eventually where it doesn't actually bother you. Like, it doesn't make me angry anymore. It makes me annoyed, if anything, but it's like, that's fine. John
and I tend to, he'll occasionally get somebody that said something. He'll be like, what the heck, man? And I'm like, do you want me to abuse them? Can I abuse them?
No, anymore. The only thing that like not even bothers me, annoys me, is when like there are valid criticisms of, especially of Maui, of all things. Don't get me wrong. But when people are like, yeah, it's not good for this just because it's whatever. And it's like, well,
have you looked?
One, have you looked? But two, like, you just generalized something. You didn't really give a reason. You said, no, I think you should do this instead. The Maui for this sucks. And it's like, well, but on what grounds? Just give a reason. Like, I don't care that you don't want to use it. I don't like that kind of thing influencing potential other people's perspectives, right? Where they're like, oh, somebody said that it sucks for desktop. It's like, okay, well, they didn't give you reasons why, so you shouldn't trust them. But also, like, don't put that out there. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
If you don't know,
if you're gonna say something,
shut up.
If you're gonna have an opinion, like have an opinion with some helpful, constructive information. And it can be that like it sucks because this, and this, and you can be like, oh, okay, if I was doing that, then I agree.
But you can also be nice about it. So there is a guy, and I know he's complained on a few times. So John and I did. What do we do? That Swift it or the Slim interop. Slim bindings.
Yeah, slim bindings. Yeah.
So when we did that slim bindings thing, right, we put it out there, and then somebody did nothing but complain about it. This isn't what we need. And it's like, guys, maybe Microsoft needs to deliver a better solution for this. Yeah. This is just John and I. We put it out there and it was made official.
Yeah.
Like and then
it's either
and then people just went
exists or it doesn't. Like you can still say like, well, actually, I'd like it to be this experience instead. That's fine.
Right. And so they complained about that. And I was like, can you relax? It's just another option. And we did this in our free time. Right. And then like Shiny, somebody complained about something. You asked like, hey, what can we make that better? And then people use that as, here's my laundry list for Maui. And it's like, no. He was asking this user this specific question. Like, come on.
And it's fine. Like, I don't even care if there's stuff that's in there that's like not untrue. That's fine. But yeah, like you kind of took the topic away.
Yeah, like stick to the topic, man. This person's left these grievances out before. Just, dude, move on. Do it elsewhere. If it's really that bad, move on too.
Yeah, those don't even bother me at all. The ones that make me like just think like a puzzled look are the ones, like I said, like they're like, well, Maui sucks. And it's like they're just trolling through the subreddit because they just want to call that out. And it's like, well, what? You really have nothing better to do than to just go like tell somebody some generic comment like that. Like, okay, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People just click through there and go.
Yeah, like why
all over everything.
If you're off doing something better, why are you still here? Why are you saying anything?
Yeah. Open source, man.
Yeah. It's a thankless thing.
It is a thankless thing. It really is.
That's okay.
But there's some stuff. John, you got your Lucene coming.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't ask for that. That's not you.
Somebody else.
Cursor based, I think, was more you at this is you
want
asking
it.
for it.
It's
Kind of.
just somebody else mentioned it, and I did a bit of. I'm like, I didn't understand that there was really a difference, or what's what the implications are. And then I started looking. I'm like, well, you may as well add it.
Fair, and there it is. It's coming in
right.
Possibly tonight.
Because I don't
Ship
know
it.
what else you can add to the library after that. So
you know what? Every time I keep saying this, because I think it was version 9, I told John, I was like, do you know anything I could add to this? And then I went to sleep, and I went to sleep late because I was up doing other vibing. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up and go, I need this. And then I woke up at 7 a.m. and I didn't even go down and get a coffee or a drink of anything. I just went,
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, burn. And then I went downstairs and got coffee.
Was that the time where you're like, hey, do you ever make a library where you're finally just done? There's nothing more. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. And then that was the night before. And then the next morning I ended up adding 3 huge features and ended up with another major.
See?
But I am hitting that point because they're coming less and less. I don't, keep feeding the beast. I'll keep vibing.
I have some initial thoughts, but I don't know. I have to mull them over a bit first.
Okay, you mull them over. Send them my way. You gave 2 features today.
That's right.
And we'll see how it goes.
Great.
All right, I think we went way over time today.
Way over. That's good.
That's all right.
Fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So
we'll think of something else to talk about next week.
Yeah. And if you don't like these episodes, let us know. Give us feedback.
Yeah.
Ask us. Tell us
or
what
if you have ideas for an episode.
Because people do talk to us occasionally. So, complain nicely. Constructive feedback.
Yeah. That's all good.
And let us know, and we'll do a stream on it.
Right.
We can build something. We can vibe it up. Sure. It's awesome.
See you next
All
time.
right. Ciao for now.